Good morning. Hopefully you can hear me on the one mic. If someone would be kind enough in the chat to just say that they can hear me, that would be helpful. Just give it a minute, because I think there's some adverts on the purple platform at the moment. Hopefully the ads are over on Twitch. For anyone who had them, thanks for watching. I'm just going to clip you on. Contrary to popular belief, I'm only using the one mic today. So that's 2 weeks in a row, so that's a benefit. We'll just thank you very much, Leo. You found the new redeem on that. Just say a few hellos to people before we get carried away. We'll start over on YouTube. Morning to Beauty Love Creative, Colleen. Almost said Stream Elements, but I don't think they need a good morning over there. Just open that up slightly more so I can see if there's anyone else above that. Yeah, and over on Twitch, we'll say good morning to people over there. Good morning, Samantha. Morning, Joanne. Morning, Leo. Morning to Zach. Enjoy the lurk in the background. Morning to Dem. Yep. There's a couple of extra bits and pieces, channel point redeems on the Twitch side, which I've been playing with, and hopefully add a few more bits and pieces. Just to explain what we're going to do, we won't go mad the first couple of minutes as a few more people drop in. We've got a very similar setup to we had last week. Believe it or not, we actually had some sunshine here this morning first thing. It lasted for about 10 minutes. And now we're back into sort of grey, miserly rubbish really, with some actual proper rain this afternoon apparently. We have on your screen at the moment the first sighting of spring, which is some yellow crocuses, which I came across yesterday just by pure chance really. I wasn't really looking for that, but yeah, it proves spring's here, and judging by the state of the daffodils, we'll have daffodils this week as well, which is very early as well. So I think spring's going to be very early this year. It makes it more important to get some of the bedding plants in nice and early to fill in some gaps because I think spring will be over pretty quick. Again, I've got the comments on the big screen in front of me so I can actually read them without crawling around on my hands and knees near the computer. Leo's got some purple crocus coming up in their garden. Yeah, I mean, you would normally see crocus roughly about now, but I'm more surprised to see the daffodils virtually flowering. That's pretty remarkable. The other thing is a lot of the stuff that would normally be sort of finished by the cold winter has survived the winter. So we could have odd timings of plants this year. Things that we wouldn't normally see perhaps to June, we may be seeing sort of even in April. But we'll just go through a couple of admin things before we start. Thank you to all my YouTube viewers. Most of you probably already know that we achieved monetization and became a YouTube partner over there this week. We've got our watch hours, so we're going to be making at least I don't know, 5 cents a month on that. It's taken a long time. In terms of the channel's been going for properly been going since August of 23. So it took a bit of time to get started. The actual channel truly started in early 21, and certainly the YouTube people will know. Some of the Twitch viewers will also know that the reason I started it was because I wanted to comment on the Walking Commuter YouTube channel, because I've been watching that for about 6-9 months, and you needed a channel name to actually be able to comment on that. So that's why we ended up with a channel name. And then I think fairly early on we did just we posted some snow one winter, and I don't think it's really snowed since then. And then let's say August 23, I'd posted a few bits and pieces before then, but they were pretty basic stuff. I just decided out of fun I'd post a short every day in August 23, and that's where we started. And in fact, actually since August 23 there's been a short every day since. We haven't actually missed a day yet. I say that was my first. The Walking Commuter was his first inspiration. His tech is a touch more advanced than mine, and I certainly couldn't do what he's doing. But there are a couple of other streamers that have come along the way. There's a streamer in San Francisco, Roy Explores, who's also been a help and an inspiration, really, because I've been watching him for many years. So what can we do today? Well, I was hoping to be outside, but it's damp and horrible. I am sacrificing a little webcam outside to have a look at the crocuses. But I think what we'll do is switch over to the inside camera. What I might do is leave the crocus up in the top corner to prove that the actual garden does exist. If I just do that. Actually, perhaps we won't, because I think I've got those in the wrong order, but never mind. We'll go to the inside camera anyway. So what have we got to show you? Well, first of all, we have a Christmas cactus, which believe it or not, I've managed to get a flower on. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Amazing. The first set of flowers I had on that this year all fell off, but we actually got a flower. I don't usually have a lot of luck with them, so we got a nice flower there, and we've got loads more buds appearing. So give that another couple of weeks, that's going to be a full flower. Obviously shows generally it'd be Christmas. They come out around about Christmas time, but probably shows the lack of heating in the house. But when you're a bear, you don't need heating. And what else can we show you? I'll just come back out a bit. Yeah. So last week we did a load of seeds. As promised, that's the box that I did after the stream, because we didn't have enough. Nothing's come up in that yet, but we'll see if there's anything come up in these. That's a dianthus. Nothing in that. Yep. This is a dahlia, and we actually have something coming up, believe it or not. So there are some baby dahlias starting to appear. I mean, that's only a week. I think most of the package said it would take about 3 weeks, so that's encouraging. That's a dahlia. Those are the dahlias. This one is Ageratum. There's nothing on that one yet. Ooh, it's exciting. This one is the Gazania. Oops. So we've got the Gazania plants. They look quite damp. There's the little windows open. Yeah, we'll open up the window and that little bit of air in. So we've got growing sprouts or sprouting grows, and then this one was the Elysium. So there you go. Now actually, if you see those, they're starting to lean over to one side, which indicates they need more daylight. They're trying to grow towards the light. I would say the sun, but because we don't see the sun. So I think what they will need to do, they'll need to actually go on the windowsill, and they'll need to be turned probably every couple of days, just so they grow straight upwards rather than start to lean over. But it is encouraging to actually see something actually growing. I've got 3 more sets to sow this week. We've got some busy lizzies. some Crocus and some Cottage, which we can do in a moment. Morning Abby over on YouTube. I have been sorting out seeds, the rest of my seeds this week. I think I may have got slightly out of control, but I'll show you why in a sec. Probably one of the favourites in the garden that I do is cosmos flowers, which are annuals. You sow them in the spring, and then they survive really until you get some really heavy frost. The reason I like them is they're very colourful, there's lots of varieties, and they're very, very easy to grow. And anything that's easy is worth it. I have a couple of packets from last year, so there's quite a few in there already. And then, because I do like them, I think I may have got a bit out of control. So we've got what's the Cosmos Sweet Kisses, that's that one. We've got Cosmos Sensation Mix. That's a pretty standard Cosmos. I've got some. Oh, that's I didn't notice that. That is a different brand. No, it's the same brand but different packaging. That's the same Cosmos mixed. Do a lot of those then. And then we've got some Cosmos Gazebo mixed. So I've got a wide variety of Cosmos, different sort of flower faces, different heights, and don't know how many seeds are in each packet, but it says 200, 300. Well, there's about 400 seeds in there, so I've probably got about 600 seeds of Cosmos, so I think that might be a little excessive. Before we just sow anything, morning D Michael. I thought there's a nice thing to celebrate becoming this huge, great big YouTube streamer. And with the support of both viewers on Twitch and YouTube, because you're kind enough to drop in on the live streams, and most of you are actually pretty regular watching the YouTube stuff as well. Would anyone like their name on a plant label in the garden? Now the reason for that is that I have a habit of planting stuff and not properly labelling stuff, and then you come back 6 months later thinking, oh, I remember what I planted there the other day, but then you can't remember. So what I've done is a few people saying, I tended to use plastic labels, and then I went over to wood labels. The wood labels never survive, certainly here, because it's so damp. So I've used all my pocket money, well, at least a tiny proportion of it, and I've bought some. So I'm sorry, I'm opening this where you can hear this, but you can't actually see what I'm actually doing. I'm just going to zoom back out. Yeah, that's better. You're having to use your imagination as to what was happening. I went to great expense. Well, if you call going on Amazon expense. And I bought some slate plant labels. So I was going to start to properly label stuff in the garden, because if nothing else, when you come to film stuff as a later date, you have to try to remember what's what, and it makes it easy to have them properly labelled. So I thought, if I'm going to label stuff, if people wanted their name on the back, you'd then be in the garden, and then if you watch any of the content, you might see yourself. So we can do that while there's a few people here. I've got 40 of these. We haven't got 40 people here at the moment, but people do come and go. Some people can't make it, so we can do it over a few weeks. So if anyone wants there's a few saying yes. If anyone wants their name on the back of a plant label, if you just put yes or Y, and then if you want, rather than what I will do is put your username that's on the screen on it as the name, but if you want something different, like just your initials or something, just put yes and then what you want me to write on it. So if you could do that for me, just put yes and you'll get your name, or yes and then what you want me to write on it afterwards. And before anyone comes up with any great ideas, I'm not writing any jokes on the back of this for anyone. Right. So we've got a few. I think if you're on a bigger channel, you'd have to do this a bit more with a bit more tech. We've got a wonderful pen here. So we've got Abby on YouTube. That's the first one. Next one we'll do YouTube will be, if I miss anyone as we get towards the end, you'll have to shout out. Next one will be, we'll do Beauty Love Creative. Probably easy to write it rather than in the air. So that's Beauty Love Creatives. Next one will be D. Michael, who obviously, thanks very much D. Michael, you obviously want me to write an essay on this plant label. So that's for D. Michael with his essay. He's still on YouTube. We've got Colleen. I won't put all the additional rubbish numbers that are on YouTube afterwards, but there's another one. So I think that's all there is on YouTube at the moment. We go on to Twitch. This is so that's for Dem. Joanne wants one as well, by the looks of it. Check on the list at the moment. I think that's all at the moment. Obviously people come and go, so as people come and go I can add people to the list. So we've got 6 so far. Then what I'll do is I'll actually label the plants on the reverse of that. Maybe yes, I had I've considered that, and there will be going forward. There will be something for channel points or something. I haven't quite worked it out because I've got the slight issue on doing stuff like this is that certainly with channel points. That's easy enough to do on Twitch, but of course YouTube don't have channel points, so you have to do something. I think over time we might do something like if we have anything special in the garden with us, like we got some special plant or something unusual, we might do things like a little raffle for someone's name or whatever. But there's all sorts of things crossing my mind at the moment on that. But if you see anyone else that you know coming to chat on both YouTube or Twitch, and you think they might want their name, just let them know that if they shout out, they could get their name put on something, and we'll add it as we go along. So we've got plenty of them anyway. So there's no rush if people aren't actually in the chat at the moment, or they come in later, or they come in next week or the following week. There's plenty of opportunities for them. But those 6 are the first 6 that are going to be in the garden, and we'll start to put them out. I was going to be really clever and try to give people the choice of what plant they wanted. But as I'm not quite sure, some of the plants at the moment, and some are sort of fairly dormant, that's a bit difficult. Morning, Victoria. Nice to see you. That's someone joining on YouTube. Victoria, would you like your name on a plant label? We've just been doing that. For our regular viewers, you can have your name on the plant label. You don't actually have your name, you could just have your initials, or you can have something else written on the back. So if you let me know if you want to go on the back of a plant label, you can join other people. Some people have gone for their name, some have gone for their username, and then D. Michael's gone for an essay. Twitch are just gone into an ad break by the look of it. Yeah, I'll do that for you. Do you want your username, or do you just want your initials, Victoria? Or you can have a phrase or something. You can have whatever you want written on the back, within reason. And for anyone who's joined us, is that it's just a nice gesture, because without people actually watching the channel, we wouldn't have actually achieved the monetisation, affiliate status on Twitch and partner status on YouTube. So it's just a nice way to go back. Just Victoria. Yeah, I'll do that for you now. There's yours, Victoria. Twitch back, looks like they are. Thank you over on YouTube, D. I'm not sure, it's a good thing you didn't ask me to write that on the back of a plant label, because I think we need to have a plant label that was bigger than any plant that I know of. So that's those, which I'll leave there. What we'll do, we'll sow these seeds, I think, next. Checking. Yep. The weather is slowly getting grayer, so it looks like we're enough. Lovely afternoon. These three, possibly a little early for sowing normally. As I said, I think spring's going to be over quite early this year, unless we get some really cold weather, which if you look at the forecast for about the next 10 days is not going to happen. So I think we shall sow those. Simple process as we did last week. We can rattle through it. I think most of you saw this last week. There's a huge number of seeds to be sown. We'll sow these, and then I can. There's actually sun's come out there for a sec. It's caught me out of surprise. We'll sow these quickly, and then I'll go through a few bits and pieces that we're looking to do at the garden when it's turned back from a marshland back to actual garden. So I think most of you saw this last week. Chuck some water in the trays. Get the little cells. Gloves on for the compost. slightly different compost this week. This is actually the compost I would normally use. I didn't use it last week because it had been in the greenhouse and it was a bit damp and cold. I brought some in at the beginning of the week. And if you, this is, I found this purely by chance, and it's really, really good stuff. This is a specific seed sowing compost. I also use the same brand for baskets and so on, which has got a slightly different sort of components in it, but it's really good stuff, that. Try to limit how much soil I put all over the place. So even this, which is really good stuff, this has got a twig in it. So at least it's not plastic, but it does show that what you might think is nice soil isn't always the case. And also, this is at the higher end of the market for seed sowing compost. So I don't mind paying for it because you get better results with it. But even in this, you get stuff that you wouldn't really expect to see. Morning, Sydney. And thank you for the subscription on Twitch. And morning to XPN on YouTube. So that'll about do us on that. And then I'll just squidge those down a bit. For those joining on, just joining us now, to celebrate the channel becoming a partner on YouTube this week, we're doing plant labels. Well, I was going to do plant labels for a lot of the plants again this year, upgrading them to slate plant labels, but we're doing plant labels with your names on them. So we've got 6. So Sydney and XPN, if you want a name putting on it and then going out in the garden, just put yes in the chat. If you want, I'll put on your username, or if you prefer something else afterwards, just put it yes and then what you want me to add afterwards. Bear in mind it's a plant label and not a book. So just put that in the chat, and then you can be added to the garden. And then when you watch content back in the future, you may see your label at some point. Well, okay, we'll do that. Sydney on Twitch is going to go in the garden. Not actually Sydney himself. I don't know why I'm complaining about my weather. I think if anyone watches Sydney on Twitch, his weather is quite extraordinary at the moment. There's yours, Sydney. And that can go. There will be plants written on the back in due course, but they'll be scattered around the garden. So when we do future tours over this year, you should be able to occasionally see your name appear occasionally. But it's just a nice thank you for people supporting the channel. I've lost my train of thought. For anyone, while we're here, anyone on Twitch who's not following Sydney, I'll just do a shout out. He's got a quite interesting channel. There's that. We have morning to Melissa on Twitch. So I'll put Christian on for you. Morning to Montwort. I assume that's probably a fairly close approximation, but if I've got that wrong, please be considerate. I am a bear. So we'll do what I need is a glamorous assistant, really, to do all this work for me. That's yours, Christian. Morning, Melissa. Yeah, there's Christmas cactus there. Melissa, would you like to be in the garden? What we're doing is, anyone, because we've been made a partner on YouTube this week, we're celebrating and supporting people who've supported the channel. So what we do is putting people's names, if they want to, or their usernames or whatever they want on it, on plant labels, and they'll go out in the garden over the summer. So if you want to go on a plant label, just put yes in the chat, Melissa, and I'll put your username on, or if you just prefer something else, just like Melissa, or something else, just let me know and I'll put it on there for you. You don't have to, but if you want to, the offer's there. Yeah, okay, we'll do that for you, Melissa. Do you want just Melissa, or do you want the full username? Because obviously it'll just depend on where I'm going to start on the plant label. We'll go for honeybee, shall we? Because that's a nice name for the garden. Trying to fit the whole thing on is challenging. So, honeybees there. Do you want one as well? I assume that's a yes for that. You just put yes in again for a second time, so I know that you're talking to me and not talking to someone in chat. Yeah. Honeybee there. What would be really good is if we could manage to get a honeybee to land on that on camera. So, Dem sprayed her ankle. Hope you're being looked after. Morning to Orange. And I'm going to spend all the Orange. Would you like yourself going on a plant label to go in the garden? Because we're celebrating today, so we're doing plant labels for anyone who wants to go into the garden. You don't? Yes. Okay, I can put your username on, or just Orange, or and you can have whatever you want on it, within reason. Might even get some seeds sown in a minute. We'll see what the response is. Just see what Orange is fine, okay. Orange Hue on Twitch is just said orange is fine. It will confuse people expecting an orange tree. It certainly will. I don't actually have an orange tree in the garden. So we'll do that. So that's orange. There's another one, and we've got one over on YouTube to do. If nothing else, this will force me to properly label the plants in the garden. That's the one for YouTube. So shuffle those across. Oh, just throwing everyone around on the floor. What have we planted in these? We haven't planted anything. So we'll plant these three now. We'll start with the Busy Lizzies. So anyone who's just coming in, we'll do some Busy Lizzies. In the background, in these are the ones that we sowed last week, and we've got stuff coming up. We've got Alyssiums coming up, Dahlias coming up. We've got Gazanias coming up, so we've already got stuff coming up, so they can go on the windowsills. So Busy Lizzie, I don't usually grow Busy Lizzies in recent years because they're subject to disease. So you tend to grow the what's called a New Guinea impatient, which looks basically like a Busy Lizzie, but it's disease resistant. But we'll give these a go. Sow on surface and cover with a light covering. Okay. all I'm doing is flicking that because these are very small seeds, so I'm just trying to get them down to one end of the packet before I open it. It's like trying to open a bin bag. Those are the seeds, not very many of them. So I don't know if you can see that, they're very small. Drop them on the surface. Now bear in mind I'm not trained in any way on horticulture, so there probably is a correct way of doing this, but like most things in life, you learn by sort of trial and error and do what works for you. So that's that. We'll label that before we forget, before someone in chat reminds me. I will cover them up in a second, but I think the others need covering as well, so we're going to throw compost around. We'll do it at the end. Next one's a Cottage. That's what we're going to do. So if you ever fancy having a go at some of this stuff, all the instructions are generally on these packets. Oh well. Shows I didn't read that, did it? It says sow outdoors where they are to flower. Prepare the ground well with fine tilth. Ah, right, okay, yeah. For earlier flowering, sow indoors. So you can do them inside. So yeah, we'll do them anyway. Yeah, these sound like they've got more in them, but they're larger seeds. Yeah, so see in there. Hopefully you can see that. There's a load left over there. And it says you can sow these outside now. What I might do with the rest of the packet, so I might just sort of broadcast sow them somewhere. And what I mean by broadcast sow them is basically you stand in one spot and just chuck them around, to use a technical term. So that's that one. I don't know whether you need to cover that one. Read the instructions again. Yeah, they need covering as well. And then the final one we'll do today is Crocus. And And even though I've got a lot of a lot of perennial plants in the garden anyway, there's always gaps. So if you've got a few of these to fill them in, you can do. And no one spotted what the deliberate mistake that I made. I forgot to put a label on the Gadisha. So this is the Sauropsis. So this needs a light covering as well. Victoria saying on YouTube there was sowing seeds at the moment, be on top of 3 foot of snow. Gone are the days here where we used to see snow. Growing up, you'd have feet of snow every winter, but so we've only really had dustings of snow here for oh, 5-6 years now. I think the last time I saw a snowplow was about, what's that, about 8 years ago, something like that. So these are the, I should have shown you the packet, but these are the Crocus seeds. There's quite a lot in the packet there. So just get this done, and then all I'm doing is just get a pinch in my fingers, and then I just, like you do a pinch of salt basically, a pinch of pepper. And if I've got enough, I tend to overseed anyway, because if all of them come up, you can always take some of the little seedlings out if you want to. Twitch are going into a ad break any sec, so while you're in the ad break I will chuck some, I will do the label while you're in an ad break. See if you actually go into an ad break. Said you were, but we'll see. This was the Sauropsis. Well, thank you very much for that, Samantha. Thank you for the bits. So, because we're a small channel, we're not really into making a profit out of this, but thank you anyway. Yeah, Twitch has gone into ad break, so we'll just wait for them to come back. For those who are still watching on Twitch and YouTube, I'm just going to put a little bit of compost over the top of these. Just like dusting. Of which quite a bit's going on the floor by the looks of it. So their ad break's nearly over. Just getting the lids out. I think Twitch is back while you've been away with the ads. Thank you for that. I've just put a little dusting of soil over the top. Put the lids on. I've managed to even label myself. So that's the three for this week. Melissa's asking if I'm over in the UK. Yes, the garden, and well, saying that the garden is I am. Yeah, we're in the UK. We're in the nearest place that, the nearest significant place most people around the world have heard is probably York. So that's northern England. So if you're not from the UK, York is roughly probably 2/3 of the way from London to Scotland if you went in a straight line. So that's roughly where we are. I think there's one or two people I've known for a long time who've got a much better idea of where we are, but that's as close as I'll actually say as to where we are. We're in a semi-rural village, and typical for this sort of area. It was originally a pit village with coal pits. Would I know a little place, Danby near Whitby? It's not a name that I know of. I've been to Whitby, but don't often go over there. That's quite a distance. It is a bit of a trek. Yorkshire as a county is a huge county. Melissa over on Twitch asking about the Hebrides and St Andrews. I don't know much about the St Andrews side because that's on the east coast. The Hebrides I do, because I had family lived on that side, on the west coast of Scotland. So I've been to a lot of the Hebridean islands when I've been up there. Not for a number of years now, because there's not much family left up there now. But yeah, I do know that quite well. What was I going to say? Oh, I don't know if you're still in the chat, Samantha, or still listening, but thank you for the bits. I don't know if you caught the earlier thing. If you want your name on a plant label with everyone else who wants it, just put yes in the chat and what you want me to put on the plant label for you. So similar to those. So if you're still here, Samantha. If not, you've got anyone who changes their mind. We've got plenty of plant labels, and you just have to shout out on the lives as we go forward. Oh yeah, okay, Samantha, we'll do yours now. Shall I just put Samantha on yours? I've done more than I thought I'd be doing today. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 12. This will be the 13th. And anyone who's joined us, the plant labels, I was going to relabel a lot of the plants this year because a lot of the older labels have disintegrated basically, so I want to try to change them all, and I thought this is a good way of saying thank you to everyone who's supported the channel. I'm both on Twitch and YouTube. That's the next one. That's yours, Samantha. So, oh, that's Lizzo. Thank you very much for that, Lizzo. Or Liz, over on YouTube. That's, you didn't have to do that. A bit taken aback by that, really. It's usually the other way around, isn't it? If you've just joined us, Liz, as a thank you to people who've supported the channel, both on Twitch and YouTube, we're doing plant labels. Where you can have your name put on a plant label or just something you want written on it. It doesn't have to be your actual name. Like D. Michael wanted me to write a book on his, or a statement the length of a book. XPN, yes, you got yours. Yep, just approved there. Yeah, there's yours, XPN. Yeah, so you're there. So if you want to have Liz on a plant label, I can do that for you. Just put yes in the chat and I'll do that while we're here. What time is it? Just see if this comes back. Will the marker wash away? No, because I've put the one that came in the packet was just a chalk marker. But look, this is I went to the expense and spent, I think it was 79p on a permanent marker. See, planning. The truth is, probably yes, it will fade, but we can always remark them as we go along anyway. Yeah, it says a permanent marker as long as a permanent marker lasts. I don't think it gives any guarantees of how long it's going to be permanent for. Oh, it says it's light fast as well, but I'll believe anything. Well, thank you for going back to sleep, Liz. For that super thanks, sorry, super chat, I'll put you on a plant label. I'll put Liz on the back and you can join the team in the garden. So there's your plant label, Liz, and thank you for the super chat. Enjoy going back to sleep. a bit like me waking up in the middle of the night last night watching your stream and then going back to sleep, so I suppose it's only fair. In terms of planting stuff or there, I don't think there's much to show you on that. Thanks for still being awake, Melissa, as well. This is just saying on YouTube, I'm a great supporter of her channel. Well, her channels, shall we put it. Then again, if anyone doesn't know out and about yours truly, Lizzo, she's I can't remember how the phrase is. It's a multifaceted channel, basically, based around, there's a lot of IRL stuff, but I can't remember what phrase you used this now. She does a bit of everything, basically. What I'll do is I'll just switch the cameras over for a sec. That didn't work. Oh, hang on. Yeah. Oh, did you hear those birds? They're actually some sort of geese going over. Yep, so there you go. We go back to the crocus. So that's proof. In fact, actually, if you notice that, the crocus has actually started to open up with a little bit of sunlight since we first started. Camera seems to have, it's still working, but never mind. Okay, we'll leave that. Well, we still have a picture. Yeah, they're actually opened up. It's amazing what a little bit of sun does. What I'll do, let's just swing this around. just go back to that. As you can tell, we're not professional. And we'll go back to an outside, just general shot of the garden. Close this up so you can actually see more of the garden. There you go, so that's the current state of affairs in the garden. Just see what the chat said for the last couple of minutes. Yeah, I've seen quite a few. Of these sort of V-shaped formations of geese in the last week. Whether they think spring's arrived as well. And they're flying back north, I don't know. As Dee's explaining that the lead goose in a V-shaped formation changes regularly because it uses the most energy by breaking the wind resistance. Similar to the front cyclist in a cycling peloton. Night, Liz. Thank you, Melissa, for that. Yeah, she's just saying it's a cute garden. It's not a huge garden. It's actually smaller than my previous garden. But it goes down to the bottom there, and then it goes round to the right. The greenhouse and the veg patch and so on. So it's not a huge garden, but it's amazing how much you can pack in. And what we have, if you're wondering what the black object in the middle of the lawn is, that's just a pot that I had, because I'm thinking of actually, I think I said this last week about possibly reducing the amount of lawn, because either it goes from mud to drought to moss, and I'm thinking where that black pot in the centre is, we're going to have another central bed and some pots in the centre there as a focal point. The colour of the pot probably won't be black, I might get something with a bit of colour in it, but we'll I just thought I'd put it there just to, to see if I like the idea, whether it irritated me, but I'm not offended by it. So we'll probably get a nice coloured pot, put it on some slate or stones, and put some smaller pots with bedding around it. Someone's asking, do you need a credit card to pay on YouTube? I use a credit card, but I think you can use a debit card. I don't think they're that fussed. I don't know what all the options are, to be honest. I've got YouTube Premium, so I just use the card that gets paid on. But yeah, I honestly don't know what the options are on that. But don't feel you have to send me anything really, because I've never been in this to earn millions and millions, and on a channel my size it's not going to be the case anyway. The advantage of becoming a YouTube partner was I would say the prestige, really. Even though there's not a lot of prestige, but it's very interesting how few people even get to the YouTube partner stage. I think it's only the top. I think it's the top about 10% or something will ever get to that stage. But it's nice to be recognised, and the same on Twitch with the affiliate status on that. yes, a little bit of ad income. I'm not going to turn it down, but let's be honest, on a small channel, the amount you're going to get through that, and on YouTube, is insignificant. I mean, the actual costs, I won't go into the costs of actually running what I spend on the channel each year, but I'd probably have to have 20 or 30 times the number of people watching me to even break even. But that's not the point. I enjoy doing the editing. I enjoy doing the live, and enjoy talking to everyone in the chat. And it's nice to see the interaction between people in the chat and between between people from different channels. I think the majority of people in the chats here know me from different places, or they've come across me, or been making some terrible jokes somewhere. And for some reason, everyone seems to want me to be a moderator, so on their channels. So that keeps them busy as well. I think it's probably more to the point, if they make me a moderator, I have to rein back on the terrible jokes. Thank you, Abby, for that. I enjoyed actually hearing you, Abby, when I went on. And I saw your video this morning. So it's very strange when you see people's names in the chat. You almost create I suppose, an avatar for them. And then when you actually come across them, or hear them, or see them in real life, it just makes. It's very odd anyway, but everyone's being nice to me now. I'm not used to that. But yeah, if we can do, if we can just make life a little bit easier for everyone, or just in various chats and streams, if everyone if nothing else, people just have someone to say hello to, really. And it breaks up the monotony of life. And I think the majority of us in the chats here, we all know each other from different places, and in reality there's very little trouble on the chats that we're in, and they're all pretty good really. And if you do have a good moderator on your channels, that helps as well, because they can do a lot of the background work for you. So what have we done so far? And this we've done, just seeing how long we've done about an hour and a half. I'll just a couple of admin things before we tie it up. YouTube viewers, normal scheduling this week. Life's slightly chaotic here at the moment, but I've got something scheduled for this week, so I'm not under pressure for this week. We should be live again next Sunday. Some of the Sundays may go slightly, as we got more daylight now, they may go back an hour or so, but for the time being we'll stick with what we've got. The reason for pushing it back slightly is it does help the Canadian and American viewers that we've got, if it's at least at breakfast time rather than sort of 4 or 5 in the morning. But that was the summer, and when we come to the summer there'll be some evening streams. If you see some notifications for lives pop up during this week, there's a couple of things I've got to test this week. So don't panic if you miss something this week. During the week, if we get a nice sunny evening, I might do a sunset stream. But having looked at the forecast, we're probably not going to see the sun again till next weekend. So it'll just be some very short testing bits and pieces. More so probably on the Twitch side, because there's a lot of stuff I'm setting up on that side at the moment. So I may just run that. YouTube is pretty well what you see now, so we'll stick with that. just on Twitch. I'll see who's around so we can think about if we're going to raid someone. Let's have a look. See who there's a couple of the regulars on. Okay, got a good idea. Thank you everyone who's been watching. We'll just go back to that. Go back to that. Just say a few goodbyes and thank you to everyone. The name tag, we've still got plenty left, so there are some people today who obviously didn't get their name on one, who probably want one. So we'll carry that on over the next couple of weeks. If you're on the live streams in the future, if I forget to do the name tags, just remind me. Dean Michaels, any sign of Spike? That new view of Spike is a mythical hedgehog that no one's ever seen, who lives and comes in and out the garden, who spent last winter in the garden. But and the answer to that is I haven't seen Spike recently. It's a bit surprising because it's been so mild this winter. I'd have expected them to be roaming around. I think there's some ads just about to hit YouTube, to hit Twitch. So we'll get those. In fact, actually, I think I can snooze those. I think they're snooze for 5 minutes. Don't think we need to. I don't think I need the extra 2 cents from that. So we'll just say I will raid out on Twitch. So hopefully I'll just say goodbye to a few people. Thanks to this Samantha. I see Wiggy's lurking. Dem. Who else did we have here earlier? Melissa, Orange. Thank you if I missed you. Over on YouTube. In fact, while we're doing that, I'll just set up the raid on Twitch. As you can tell, bears aren't good at multitasking. There we go. On YouTube, thanks to Beauty Love Creative, Victoria, XPN, it's Christian, T. Michael, Victoria, we've already said, Victoria, you've got 2 buys there. Make up for Gabe not saying hellos anymore. Montort, I hope that's roughly right. Abby, Liz came in, Colleen, thank you to anyone else who I've missed on there or has been lurking. Thank you to the bits on Twitch and the super chat on YouTube. I say we should be back. Should be back next weekend with a live. If not, keep and check out for the content on YouTube. I'm going to start the raid on Twitch. And I mean, that's about it. Have a good weekend. And I'll probably be seeing you somewhere during the week. So I'll just come on to the transition that.